like the official Regents exam cancellation update today. And I'm going to go over as much as I can, but I won't be able to answer all of your questions as specifically as maybe your guidance counselor or the school district can, just in terms of like, basically, I don't know all your background. I don't know what Regents exams you were already taking. I don't know what your goal was in terms of diploma, like were you going for the advanced Regents diploma or whatever. I'm just going to kind of scroll through these frequently asked questions in terms of like graduation requirements and Regents exams, and then I'll answer to the best of my ability. But I think once like everyone gets on the same page and we've all teachers, administrators, guidance counselors kind of taken all this information in, then I think we'll be able to better answer your questions. But I'm going to start in a minute. The general, like, too long didn't watch TLDW, they're canceled and they're not really going to affect your graduation requirements. That's like the gist of it. They're done for this year only. If anything you were planning on taking this year would have directly affected you graduating or would have directly affected some kind of diploma you were aiming for, you basically don't have to worry about it. The only thing you do have to worry about is where are you in standing in the class itself to get credit. So you need to basically pass any Regents class that you're enrolled in to get credit for it. I think that's obvious. I think that leaves it a little bit up in the air because you're losing a lot of time right now and a lot of momentum you could have built up to try to have a really great fourth quarter so that you could help your lower first and second quarter grades. But it is what it is. I know for my students, they can retake tests. So obviously anything from third quarter, I think we had like one retake day already, but still like people are absent and people might have multiple ones to take, or even before all this COVID stuff was going on, people were sick. I think we can safely say we had a relatively bad flu season in general before all this stuff happened. So I remember, I think it was in January or February, some month, there were like a lot of kids absent from my classes, and they were just sick. But I'm just going to go over everything on here that pertains to you guys, and then if you have a question, feel free to text me on Remind. And as usual, at the end, if you have a question on like work you've been doing, or I really don't understand polar versus non-polar, or Mr. G, help me out with this AP Chem question, obviously you could always do that, and I'm always willing to help. But general idea, I think really bullet points under question 1 and 2 will hit all of your questions. So, are students exempt from the Regents examination they were planning on taking during the June 2020 test administration? The answer is yes if you meet one of the following. 1. You're currently enrolled in a course of study culminating in a Regents exam, and by the scheduled date of the June 2020 Regents exam, will have earned credit in such course. So basically what that's saying is you're passing and you're in a class that you had a Regents at the end of it. So juniors, the most popular classes you're in that have Regents exams, and we're talking like average junior here, not necessarily all juniors, but juniors are typically either in physics or chemistry. Those have Regents exams. Math, most of you are in Algebra 2. Some of you might be in Geometry. Those have Regents exams. Pre-calculus does not have a Regents exam. Typically, you'll be enrolled in U.S. History. That has a Regents exam. And typically, you'll be taking English. Now, I know some juniors, I think, took the English one in January. So this only applies to the June 2021. So whatever score you got in January, if you took any Regents exam in January, is valid. This is for June 2020 administration only. Second bullet point's about 7th graders. I'm going to skip that. So, student is currently enrolled in a course of study culminating in a Regents exam and has failed to earn credit by the end of the school year. Such student returns for summer instruction to make up the failed course credit and is subsequently granted diploma credit in August 2020. So what that says to me is that if you're currently in a Regents class where you would take the exam in June, but you don't pass the class, as long as you earn credit for it by August, you're exempted from the Regents. So that's how it reads to me. It is not saying, I don't see anywhere in here that you would have to take it in summer school and then take the Regents exam in August, because we do offer Regents exams in August. This reads to me as you did not pass during the year, and then you retook the class over summer and did pass it. Now, don't put all your eggs in that basket. Saratoga historically has not offered chemistry over the summer. We have not offered physics over the summer. So we have limited summer school classes as is. So don't just say to yourself, oh, okay, even if I don't pass, I'll be fine. With everything going on in years past, I don't think they're going to make changes. And I know they're always making changes to the summer school curriculum anyway. So don't just assume you could take it over the summer. The student was previously enrolled in the course leading to an applicable Regents exam, has achieved course credit, and has not yet passed the Regents exam, but was intending to take the test in June to achieve a passing score. So I think I'm going to have to go to 5 for that. So what that sounds like is you took, let's say, chemistry, for example. It doesn't have to be chemistry, but let's say you took chemistry last year, passed the class, but did not pass the Regents, and your intention was to take it in June. It sounds like you would be exempt from it, but we'll go to FAQ 5 for more info. I think I already got a question for mine, or I might have just made that up. Nope, I just made that up. 2, how will students earn credit in courses that were interrupted? In the event extended interest in schools will have a full unit by the end of the school year. The phrase. Yeah, so basically, I don't know how the district's going to handle this yet, how we will earn credit, because right now we've already extended it to April 30th now. I don't know if that out-of-school extension will go further. So I'm going to hold off on the credit portion of it. So 3 is kind of a repeat. Yep, so 4 just kind of expands on what I just went over. If you were to fail the course that leads to a Regents exam, so you would fail whatever, you failed Algebra 1. If you make it up in the summer and earn credit for the class, you're still exempt from taking the Regents. So if you're a student right now who's looking at your grades and it's not looking too hot and it's not looking like you're going to pass for this year in a certain course, you can still be eligible to take it over the summer. And then as long as you pass the class over the summer, you still don't have to worry about the Regents exam. Now, I don't know what summer school is going to look like this year. Like I said, they always change the curriculum. They always change what's offered. They've never offered chemistry as long as I've been there. So don't just assume that you'll be good to go over the summer. But if it's offered over the summer and you pass the class over the summer, then you're still exempt from the Regents. So question 1 above states that the student is eligible for an exemption if he/she was intending to take it in June. How do I know if a student was intended? So schools can apply the intended to take Regents exam eligibility requirement under one of the following circumstances. The student informed the school already, or the student was receiving some sort of supplemental instruction or academic intervention. So I know for some classes, there's stuff in place at our district if you failed a certain Regents exam in the past. That's not in place for every class, but I know there's stuff like that in place. So that would be something. Or the student took the exam in June 2019, August 2019, or January 2020 in an attempt to pass or better his or her score. So if you took, let's say again, you failed chemistry last fall or last June, and you took it in January, that would show intention to take it again in June as long as you were, you didn't pass it again or you were trying to get a better score. All right, so the graduation requirements. So students granted an exemption are not required to pass specific exams to meet assessment requirements for any diploma type. whether that is. Thank you. Oh, it's a 5-pack?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I thought I just got one. So I love Cadbury eggs. I know that they're not everyone's favorite, and they've definitely gotten smaller over the years, but something about them is just like nostalgic for me, and I really like it. So I still eat them. So that gets to the whole like Regents versus advanced Regents, all those types of diplomas. So if you were aiming for one of those and it was an exam this year you needed to take to help get that, it's basically not going to be factored into getting that diploma and you're exempted from that exam. So it says here, for example, a student that was enrolled in ELA 11 and was scheduled to take the exam in June 2020 does not need to meet the ELA assessment requirement for a local Regents or advanced Regents diploma. So like ELA is a required exam, and we make all juniors take it because it's a required exam, but this says that you would be exempted from it. 1,200 minutes for labs. They said no to this for June 2020 back in March. So we are not worried about it. So don't worry about your 1,200 minutes. So if you were a student that missed a lot of labs and we're planning on making them up, still make them up for like your grade when we go back to school, but don't worry about the minute requirement. My AP students, I know we're kind of concerned about this because we do less labs than Regents. That being said, just so you know how this 1,200 minutes works, it includes all the pre-lab, the performance of the lab itself, and the write-up. And you know AP students that AP write-ups are a bit more intensive than a Regents write-up. So really, I could give you up to 2 to 3 hours for just one lab in AP, depending on how intensive it was. So I would say AP kiddos, in general, don't worry about this. Not only would we get there, but we would do a bunch of labs after the AP exam anyway. Either way, Regents exams are canceled. The minute requirement was already exempted back in March. Let's see. So it says if you so choose, you could still take a Regents exam in the future. And we'll see if the district makes any modifications on this. But the general gist for this year is they're canceled. We're meeting that requirement. No worries. Okay, so this was a question. This is an interesting question. Can you earn credit in the class if you take a Regents in the future, let's say maybe in August or next January, and even though you failed the class but then passed the Regents, can you get credit? This is saying no. Yep. So if you have a sibling or you know someone in 8th grade who's accelerated and might be taking Algebra 1, might be taking Earth Science or Living Environment, all these Regents exam exemptions pretty much apply to everybody. And I think that's the important stuff. There's a lot. There's just 40 questions in here. I think I got through the important bits. Like I said before, I am not going to be able to answer all of your questions. But I think that hits pretty much everything. That's important. If you have any questions right now about that, you can text me on Remind. Or if you have, just general questions about chemistry, you can text me on Remind or whatever. So I'll leave myself open up to questions right now for a few minutes. Obviously, if you couldn't watch this video, don't worry about it. I will send this out and put it on my YouTube channel. And if there's no questions, I will see you guys tonight at 8 p.m. as usual. So, questions, go ahead. I'm going to eat a Cadbury egg while I wait. I think they're good. I know some of you are judging. And these are these are definitely smaller than they used to be. I know all these companies that have been around forever try to scam you and say, it didn't get smaller, you just got bigger. They're lying. These are definitely, they're smaller, period. I think BJ Novak from The Office did an interview on Conan O'Brien once where he had an original Cadbury egg, and it was considerably larger than this Cadbury egg. But This is the regular one. The caramel ones are just as good in my opinion, but I don't know, something about them is just like really nostalgic for me. I enjoy them. I know a lot of people don't like them. It's kind of like candy corn, like all these different holiday themed snacks. Some people like, some people don't. I don't mind candy corn. I think it's pretty good. Some people don't like sweethearts around Valentine's Day. I don't mind them, but it's delicious. This is great. I have no problem with Cadbury egg. Anyway, questions, please ask. Questions? Hello? All right. On that note, I'll be heading out. I know I try to be patient on Remind because Remind can be a little funky this time of day, but sounds like we don't have any questions. So I'll see you guys later. Have a great day and bye.